All right, so just going over the getting into the shrine and beating it pretty quickly. First, I usually go into a shrine and then load the same shrine autosave. That way it like hard saves that technically, so when I don't it doesn't resave when I walk back out. I found that to be the easiest way to do it. And at this point, I'm going to go back to Lookout Landing. I mean, you could use any coaling spot. This is just the simplest one for me to use. And the first thing we have to do is weapon fuse entangle a steering stick that we've SDC'd on. So first I'll just fuse entangle a weapon to a shield, and then I'll zuggle a weapon. I'll unequip the weapon that I have and pick up the one that's fuse entangled to the shield. I'll drop a stick and fuse entangle two, and change shields to remove the one that's in my hand. So now it's attached to the one that I have zuggled. I drop both of them, or I drop my zuggle, pick up the steering stick, and then do an SDC. I picked up the wrong one here, so I pick up the steering stick club. You don't have to zuggle it. Oh, you also have to stand on a steering stick to be able to get access to your abilities. But you don't have to zuggle it. I just do it because it's like muscle memory at this point. But you don't have to. You can actually just hold on to it. You have to drop the stick down in there, and then, I mean, I break them apart. You might not have to, but I break them apart anyways. I'm turning on the HUD so that I can actually see my coordinates. And I already know the coordinates I already have them up on my screen, but I don't show them. But I will do another one in a second in which I do show how I find the coordinates. But basically, I'm trying to set up the lift storage warp just above the location of the goalpost in the Blessing Shrine. And I use there's a destination anchor that's like right in front of the goalpost. And that's where I stand at basically. So right now I could just fuse and tangle a big battery. I think a big battery is probably the easiest. It has to be a Zonai device, or it's going to move during the cutscene when you enter the shrine, and that's not good. It's going to be moving you away from the destination that you want to be at. So right now I'm just like getting really specific on the chords. I try to make sure that I'm facing in the direction of the goalpost, but I think it matters more the way the entry point of the shrine is facing, but I don't know. And at this point, once I've dropped the steering stick and I've been cold, I load into the shrine. And I mean, this is the most patient part. It takes about 9 to 10 minutes with the big battery. It might be faster with other ones. I fast forwarded it, but we're just going to drop all the way down. Right now, the battery is invisible above our head, and I don't know if it's pushing us down or the coaling is, affecting it, or our weight is making it fall down. I don't really know, but it's moving the location of that battery. So once I land, this is the new warp location. And all I have to do is load the save. I don't really skip the intro anymore. At this point, I just start slamming the A button as fast as I can. I hold forward and slam the A button as fast as possible. And when I load in, there it is. And so this is pretty much generally how it works with, this is pretty much generally how it works with every shrine. But one of the bigger problems is whether or not it has a roof on top of it, right? Like you can't fall down into a shrine that doesn't give you access through its roof. So a way to alleviate that problem is what we're going to do right now. First, I did want to show like what happens when you leave the shrine after doing this, and you're just hung up in the air. And to get out of this, you just need to drop your shields and then warp, wherever you want to warp to. That'll delete the battery and allow you to move on. So at this point, I want to pick a shrine with a roof and kind of praying that I don't hit a blessing shrine, but I just kind of go around the map and I pick one at random. I really wanted to show that like it doesn't matter, which shrine it is. There could be, I think the only one that actually might be difficult is the blessing shrine, the troll blessing. I don't know if I can actually get in front of that without it pulling away from you. So that there's one shrine that might not be possible. But yeah, I come into this shrine, and this is the second time I've ever done this shrine. One of the major things is like obviously it has a roof. This is a perfect example. So what I need to do is I need to get to the end of the shrine and set up a platform so that I can land on it later. Fortunately, this one has hover stones, and so I just end up using a hover stone that's in here, but there are some shrines that don't have, obviously, anything you could use as a platform. So your best bet would be on 1.0 using the Zonai device, smuggle into a shrine. Smuggle a wing or, a hover stone. I think a wing is probably going to be better. But you bring that in, and you can set it up at the end of the shrine. Sorry, you have to watch me casually do this shrine. But yeah, I know that I'm going to need this platform, so I just bring it in here. And then we're going to fuse entangle it, Zuggle the shield, and, well, first I'm checking if I can stand on it and actually interact with it. I'm like, is it too high to be able to interact? But no, it's good. But yeah, fuse entangle, then we'll Zuggle the shield, and then we'll recall lock the platform right in front of it. Because we're going to need to land on that later. We're not going to go through the roof of this place. We're actually going to use another shrine, which conveniently we're going to use a blessing, but there may be a blessing shrine, but some other other exits for or other goalposts and other shrines might actually need, a different shrine completely, because you might hit the void out zone in it. But yeah, this is what I'm doing here on the object map. I've got to remember the name of the shrine that I'm in, so I had probably went back and looked at that. But afterwards, I find that shrine in the list of shrines here. I skip it a few times, so... and I picked the wrong one. And so, show all the objects on the map, and now I'm just looking for the goalpost and the destination anchor in front of it. Now that I have the destination anchor, just know that the first and last coordinates are your X and Y, and those are the only important ones. You don't worry about Z at all. Just find that X and Y, and that's where we're going to set up the lift storage warp. I know in other videos that I talked about using recall lock on the object that you're lifting. You cannot do that at all. If you do that, you're not going to fall. You might fall, but you might not. I don't know. You can't do that, or you're not going to fall as fast, maybe. I haven't had experience falling at all. Right now, I'm looking at the void out points of the blessing shrine just to make sure that we're within it. that we're not going to get voided out as soon as we load into the shrine. So a blessing shrine works perfect for this. And a blessing shrine will probably work for the majority of them. There's probably like 10 that you might need another shrine, but in those 10 you're so far away that you could probably just load into Ultra Hand or something like that and be completely out of the way. So, but now we're just going to set up the same way we did before, being careful not to mess up our Hoverstone shield because we need that to stay there for the platform. So the same thing, fuse a weapon to the shield, then we'll Zuggle a weapon. And then we'll remove any weapon from our hand. And we'll grab the weapon on the ground. We'll do a fuse entanglement, but to the weapon, but still slam the shield button and change shields. And now we need to drop the Zuggle and pick up the steering stick and now perform the SDC. I like here because I can just get off the stick. I don't have to set up nothing. There might be an easier way, but I don't know. I'm gonna stick to my habits. Now we need to pick up the stick, making sure that you don't have any other stick equipped whenever you do that. So this time I wisen up and actually step on the steering stick before trying to Zuggle, but I actually don't even Zuggle the stick in this one. There's no need. So I need to take that Hoverstone shield with me, so I just decided to go ahead and fuse entangle the battery here, and then Zuggle this shield. I had too many shields, so I had to drop one, and then we'll unequip our shield, grab the Hoverstone shield, and Zuggle that one as well. Then I just walk the battery to the location. It's really not that far, but just go on a little stroll. I had noticed that on the map the goal exit was kind of in the middle of a crossroads, so I started heading to this crossroad, but then quickly realized that my X and Y are just too wild for that, and that it was the other crossroads to the right. And so the same thing again, we're just trying to get in the exact position, like extremely, just as close as we can to the position. Fortunately, there are ways to adjust after we've loaded into, our like middle point shrine, which would be the blessing shrine. But it's best to just try to be in the exact position. So fortunately, I still have my middle shrine up, but you might want to make sure you've double checked that you have both your in-between shrine and the shrine you need to load into for your attempt on the autosave list. I still don't skip the cutscene just because I feel like skipping it can have some effect on getting to the location that you want to get to, so I just don't. So now at this point it's the same thing. This one was about 9 minutes, so was the last one actually. But it's 9 minutes of falling kind of slow. So I sped that up, and you can see, I put the camera in such an awful position, but you can see the Hoverstone below me where I recall locked it in that other shrine. And I noticed that I'm off by a little too much. And so in order to resolve that, you can actually pull out your paraglider and move to the left or right. Or move wherever you want to move, to be honest. The reason why I'm off position is because wherever the shrine entry point is going to have some effect. It's going to kind of tug you in that direction. And this is the easiest way to accommodate that versus trying to like do some math to make sure you overshoot just enough. Like you could just use this. It doesn't look like I'm moving, but I'm moving. It's funny because Link flies off to the left, and that's the camera or the model desync, the teleport model desync. It's just a side effect of doing the SDC and culling and then loading a save. But you can see now that I'm a little bit over it, but check this out. So normally the camera will leave Link in a teleport model desync, but because I'm stuck in this position and the camera's stuck here, Link actually flies away. So it's pretty funny. Having a little bit of stamina food will help you out a lot, just in case you need to make a more major adjustment. But 9 times out of 10, you have enough time when you're coming down to be able to adjust as far as you want. You know that the platform you set up is the location of the goalpost, so you just gotta fly to that point. And this is why maybe using a wing would be a little bit better, because you can point the nose at the entry point and know that any adjustment that you make, you need to be as close to the tip of the wing as possible. I know that the further edge of the Hoverstone is the goalpost just because of the mapping. So that's where I just head to. And so once I get in a good position, I just let Link fall the rest of the way. And in this attempt, again, I don't skip the intro or the entry cutscene. I just load the shrine, and I'm just slamming A as fast as I can, like as fast as humanly possible. And somehow I was able to just press like hit the ending before the cutscene even started. I don't know. I did another video with it, it's a little bit slower, but yeah, just hit the A button. And yeah, so basically, I mean, with the movement that we did in that other shrine, we were able to get to this one. Everything you need to do is pretty much for all shrines is going to be the same thing. You're going to find the exit point. You're going to put a Zonai device in front of the exit point. You're going to go to the object data map, find that dungeon that you wanted to do, find the goalpost exit, set up lift storage warp on the X and Y, and then make sure you have a shrine that you can freely fall down in. Once you fall down, you make your little bit of adjustments to land on the platform, load the shrine you want to beat, and slam A. That's pretty much it.